there are two sides of business development. One when you really mean it, one when you're just trying to get work. Part of my philosophy is that I really believe in the startup ecosystem, the entrepreneur ecosystem that we have here in Australia. And so before even running a law firm, I was quite active in terms of that space. And so being able to then translate that through to Law Squared shows there's a genuine interest in the ecosystem. We see many law firms who are in the ecosystem who are clearly there to get work. They're sponsoring, they're giving money, which is fantastic, but they're not offering value, they're not offering service. And so it's clear in terms of what the motives are behind a firm being there. And that's not just law firms, that is a whole bunch of service providers. For us, it is really about commitment to supporting the ecosystem at a very early stage. If you think of Brisbane, for example, where we have an office, it is a very young entrepreneur ecosystem up there, and we are doing a whole bunch of seminars and workshops just to kind of educate and bring up that kind of level of understanding around legalities of starting a business and running a business and capital raising, etc. We're investing that time now because we genuinely want to make a difference. If that translates to work, fantastic. I think business development is important. You need to have a genuine kind of interest in what it is you're doing, and there can't be a clear motive behind just getting work. Which I've been pitched to myself at some events. Somebody who didn't know that I was a lawyer. That's a whole other story, but it's really interesting to kind of what that engagement was like. And
so were they a lawyer?
They were a lawyer, yeah, they were a lawyer, and they were
trying to
me. They were pitching to me because they just assumed that I was at a startup event that I was.
Okay, how did it go? Tell me.
So this gentleman said, I'm X from XYZ. Like, oh, great to meet you. He's like, we are a IP firm. We work in this area, and we now have. It was just a really monotonous and just like monotone discussion. So it wasn't, hi, how you going? What are you up to? What have you been working on, etc. It was a, hi, my name is X. I'm from Y. We are an IP firm. We are now expanding into commercial. We have a startup advice offering pack. We charge X amount of dollars. And we'd be happy to have a discussion with you. Literally all within the space of 30 seconds of meeting this guy. And I was like, oh, I'm a lawyer. And he was like, oh, okay. And then just walked off. It's a really bizarre experience. But you can imagine there was a couple of thousand people at this event, and he would have no doubt done that. And he was probably on an assignment to kind of go and get some more work. But there was a very clear, disingenuous, unfortunately, approach to kind of why he was there. And I think that's disappointing. And again, it's not just in law firms, a whole bunch of different service providers which aren't really investing in this space but are slowly realising that there's a whole lot of investment, a whole lot of interest, both from government, external providers, international markets who are interested in what Australian businesses are doing, yet not taking a genuine approach to kind of enhancing and growing those businesses.